Happy Easter, my beautiful strangers! Welcome back to my crafty-handed world. Today, I'm bringing you a charming Victorian-style vintage makeover of an outdated ceramic Easter bunny that I've had in my to-do box for years. So let's get right to it. I started by removing the old decorations and by cleaning the bunny from dirt. Then, I applied a bonding primer in 2 coats using a sponge. I'm stippling the primer on to get even coverage without streaks. My vision is to have the bunny sitting in a kind of floral metal base, which I'm going to create using air dry clay and mold. And after rummaging through my silicone mold stash, I selected the blossom from IOD, and I'm also going to use the lovely bow from the Victoriana IOD mold. As for the modeling clay, I'm using the dew and dry clay just because I have one open. But use whatever you are used to. I'm carefully pushing the clay into the deep mold to avoid air gaps and smoothing the surface out with a small palette knife. The designs are a bit tricky to demold, but the occasional breakage will be easy to fix later. Yes, I love the spring flowers on the new Easter bunny. But you could also use something like swirls from the corners ornaments Stamperia mold or IOD dainty flourishes to wrap around the base. I prepared a whole bunch of ornaments ahead so I could glue them using PVA glue as needed. I also made some partial castings along the way for filling in the empty spaces. When I was finally satisfied, I let the clay dry overnight. The next day, I painted the moldings with Pentart bonding primer, which, on the contrary, seems to have repelled the next paint coat, so I can't recommend it in this case. But if you decide to use it, let it dry properly before continuing. To achieve the metal look, I decided to test Dixie Belle's patina paints. I usually love copper, but the green patina doesn't fit my vision today. Nor does the bronze patina. But I'm really leaning toward the plain rusty iron. Though, let's work on the rest of the bunny for now. After pushing myself to pick from the Easter papers, I chose this lovely vintage rose picture from the ITD Collection instead. I find the best way to extract the image is by outlining them with a water brush and gently tearing them out. That way, the soft fuzzy edge will blend almost seamlessly when glued. It's just perfect, like it was made for my bunny. To decoupage, I'm using the rice paper glue from Stamperia. After applying a layer of glue on the bunny, I carefully position the image, and then start covering it with the glue and smoothing it out gently from the center to the edges. Luckily, the rice paper isn't as delicate as the napkins, so I can apply more pressure with my brush. I have seen techniques of dampening the rice paper with a water mister before gluing to make it more pliable, but I haven't tried it yet. If you did, please let me know in the comments. And after decoupaging all my flowers, I let the glue dry properly. This glue dries matte, but it doesn't matter because my next step will bring all the needed shine. I'm going to apply this Pentart 2-step fine crackle. First, I paint the bunny with the milky component 1 everywhere I would like the fine lines to appear. After it dries, it becomes transparent and a bit tacky. Then, I apply component 2, which has an amber color and dries super glossy, aged, and cracked. I try to apply it thicker and thinner at some places and try not to go over the same area too many times. Then I let it dry and do its magic. Now, to bring out the crackle lines, I'm using the antiquing metallic paste in the color Antique Gold. I'm rubbing the paste in the cracks with a stiffer brush. I'm working in sections, wiping off the excess with a soft tissue paper. The little pine cracks are being filled with metallic gold color, and the whole bunny is getting a vintage overcast. So far, I just love it. And it's about time to top coat the bunny. But stop! I found out the hard way that Pentart's 2-step crackle can be dissolved back with water. I find that to be a major product flaw. I think it should be resistant to water once dried, but until then, make sure to use the solvent-based varnish, so you don't have to cry over the melted crackle. Fortunately, my bunny is so vintage and distressed that there are no real flaws. I only had to carefully wipe off the melted varnish layers and use the proper solvent-based one, after a calming break, which would be metallizing the flower casing. I'm going for the cast iron look around the bunny's base, so I will apply the iron patina paint carefully with small brushes all over the molded decorations. I must say I'm heavily disappointed with the bonding primer. The iron paint has terrible coverage and slides and wipes while being applied, and the primer didn't help a bit. It will definitely require more than one coat for full coverage. I think 3 would have been the best, but I'm impatient. After 2 coats of iron paint, I risked the third one to be the patina coat. But before spraying anything over the fine crackle varnish, let's top coat it properly now with a solvent-based varnish. There are actually 2 glossy solvent-based varnishes from Pentart, but don't get confused. The difference is that one is crystal clear while the other is amber tinted, which is perfect for my vintage project. I'm using a soft fan brush to apply the top coat varnish evenly all over the bunny, except the iron casing. I'm so glad you're still with me. If you like widely assorted projects and my style of videos, you're welcome to subscribe. Your likes and comments also help to keep my channel alive, so thank you. After letting my top coat dry, it's time for the third iron paint coat and the patina, which means that the still wet paint gets sprayed with the Patina Spray. I'm using the green one. I'm shielding the cracked surface with a piece of cardstock while spraying, as I'm unsure how it will react. The sprayer is not very precise, and it's impossible to get a finer mist without totally stopping the flow. So I just went with it and gently dabbed off the overspray with tissue paper. I was a bit surprised to learn that the patina effect is not so much a chemical reaction between the paint and the spray as the spray alone. I could see the spray turning colors even when being sprayed off the paint. I also used a little brush to help move and redirect the spray drops where I wanted them. Well, I didn't achieve the flowy streaks I was hoping for, but overall the rusty effect came out lovely. I could leave it like this, but somehow I'm drawn towards grounding the bottom part of the bunny. So I'm using the burnt umber and mocha acrylic paints to paint it with a small brush. Belatedly, a thought struck me to use a one-step crackle on the bottom part. Well, maybe next time. The final touch is bringing out the molded relief by highlighting the details. I was going to use the antique gold, as I did for the fine line cracks, but it didn't feel right, so I'm using the brass antiquing paste instead, and it works like magic. You may notice later that I decided to paint the white below the bow, like the rest of the base. And here is my finished Victorian-style Easter bunny. Beautiful, painted like flowers, under fine golden porcelain cracks, set in a rusty cast iron basket with a touch of brass highlights. I hope you like it as much as I do, and I hope you enjoyed my short project video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.